Too
Hey,
funny. Too funny.
there we are. So,
Yeah.
Dennis, tis a week before Christmas, and all is silent in the house and whatnot. Uh, how go your Christmas festivities?
Well, so preparations have begun. We draw names from a hat, and one member of the family gives to another member of the family, and there's a theme every year. And this year, for the second year in a row, not surprisingly, the theme is good books.
Books.
And so, yeah, and so one of the things that
Like it
and
could be
all
another
of
theme, like I don't know, bloodlust or
it's pretty
or
well.
like
So
like high
there's more to it,
crime or something.
which there's more to it, which is a little baffling to me. And it was
Yes.
and so the person, I thought at first that they were saying that the person who's getting the book tells the person who's giving the book what book he or she wants.
That's kind of cheating,
Or
but
or
whatever.
it's I mean, and my question was, what's the sense? Just buy it yourself. I'll give you the money. I mean, it just, and I said to my
Yes, this is modern day gift giving.
I said to my daughter, I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to surprise you. Just give me a rough idea of the kind of book you might like and the kind of book you might not. I mean, science, novel, would just tell me what you like. And she said, I don't want anything about war. I don't want anything about violence. I don't want anything about sports. I don't want anything that's a cowboy genre. And so I
Nothing to
said,
do
all
with
right,
you, Dad,
yeah.
is what I'm
And
hearing.
so I Googled the funniest book ever written. And there were three or four contenders, but there wasn't a person who didn't agree out of three or four experts that I read their comments that this book was all agreed to by them as the funniest book. Not only, I think the question was the funniest book of the decade or the
Right.
century or the century, because it was it was written in 1954. And
1954. Hold on. Okay. Yes.
so I was 1 year old. Um, but so I bought it, but I can't divulge in case it's before Christmas. Uh, but the same book came up everybody who you asked the question to, and I've never heard of it before, nor have I read it. I'll read it after she's done. So I bought it used.
Funniest book.
The
1954.
funniest book ever written. Um, Otherwise, getting ready to play our Christmas gig. The Mojo Riot will be at the Thunderbird, last gig of the year, December 20th, Saturday, 7 to 10, where there is an ugly sweater uh, thing going on, but it's uptown, which is a good half a mile from the bar, so people don't want to walk that far. But the
Okay,
band's
so
doing ugly sweaters.
you have to tell me what that book is privately for the show notes, but it was published in when? 1954?
I believe so, yes.
Old Comfort for Farm? Okay. You will have to let me know. Because I don't know. I was thinking Joseph Heller, but whatever. Okay, looking. Okay, I'm seeing on. Ooh, so the people that are paying enough to see the video feed will have seen that he's just displayed the title of the book. So that is only available to our premium subscribers that have they can like see the video feed of this. So that's amazing. Yes, we will leave that. We will leave that there.
Yeah. So that was one
That book better be really fucking
per,
funny.
per,
But just saying,
per, yeah, I hope
right?
so.
Like,
And I'm reading. I'm surprised once again that I'm reading a book that called The Prodigal Summer that I believed when I read the first full chapter that I'd never read it before. By the time I got to the third chapter, I realized that I had because I remembered things in the third chapter. But here's my point.
right.
I completely forgot the first two chapters. There was, how long ago did I read it? Unknown. Could be 10 years ago. I found that odd, just unsettling. But
Yeah, but that's fine though. Like, I would be happy to reread the last 10 novels that I most loved in my last 10 years of just like, I'm going to reread this again and I'm going to put this on the shelf, and then look, later I'm going to discover, oh, I have this on the shelf and I'm going to read it again.
yeah,
Like, it's okay. Like, we have this sense that there's a shame involved in reconsuming the same media. But then when fucking Hey Jude comes on the radio, we're not like, oh, turn this off. I've heard this before. Right?
same with books. Yes,
Right. So
same
like
with books. Actually,
we should totally be like, oh, this is the Hey Jude of books.
yeah.
I'm gonna fucking read it again.
And one set of books from one of my favorite authors, who the only guest we've ever had on the show, Joe Bethany. His three novels are and one's short stories, but they're all connected, family stuff, hilarious stuff. But I'm on my fourth reread of those, and with Kingsolver, Barbara Kingsolver, and Prodigal Summer, just like I reread the Poisonwood Bible, and then I reread her other book, and then I reread her other book, knowing I was rereading them. But every time I do it, I find passages that are particularly wonderful,
That's beautiful.
and I stop and I read them out loud, and I say, "This is why I wanted to read this book again, because this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read." And what, not just beautiful from the sense of the image that it intends, which is the image that is delivered in 12 words, is like, whoa, what a metaphor you just used,
yeah, baby.
and I actually, next episode, I'll try to remember to bring that particular quote in to say it on there.
No,
And
but
what
it's
led,
like that's okay. Like, it's okay to go back and listen to this particular episode of Happy Hour 269, like, because you enjoy hearing this again. Like, it's okay to re-enjoy media, and I feel like we have this sense that, like, oh no, I've seen that before, I've read
yeah,
that
but that's
before, I've
all
done that before.
yeah, you other example of when that's absolutely not the case is the holiday season, where viewing family movies becomes the coming together of the family.
Right.
And so The Family Man and A Christmas Carol, if that's in their Home Alone movies,
Right.
Scrooged with Bill Murray. And so some members of the family will get together and trying to pick the movie. Like, for example, I don't like Scrooged. I never did. So I always veto it. But they overrule me sometimes. But anyway, that's that's the other example of repetitive uh, medium being
And
absolutely accepted.
how clever are the brands that release a thing and call this is a Christmas movie. Like I was just listening to a podcast where the guest was Zoe Deschanel,
Oh
and
yeah,
uh, apparently she stars in Elf, the
yes,
Christmas
I've
movie.
seen the movie. I just
Yes,
recently saw it again.
and
She's
and
stunning as usual.
yes,
The
and
love interest for Will.
yes, and she talked about how like like showing that to her kids is like super cringe, and like her kids are like, fine, mom, we'll watch this movie, but don't talk to us about the fact that you're in it, whatever. But the whole, like, if you
How old are her kids?
they're like uh 10 and 12 and 14, I don't know,
Really? So she's in her mid to late 30s,
more or
35,
less like
36
mine.
years old.
Well, no, but the concept of, like, if you can nail having a Christmas classic, like,
Right,
we will all acknowledge that Mariah Carey totally fucking nailed this, and like we cannot
right. That song.
escape that fucking song. But wow, like that song is so perfect in all the ways. Like,
And
I,
the fact that it was the featured song in
but
Love Actually only catapulted it. It was already
yes,
catapulted in it.
yeah, yes. And Love Actually is another thing that is like a movie that people like to rewatch on Christmas. So if you can have a particular show, like maybe this particular episode of our podcast is like a very Christmas episode that everyone's gonna want to come back and rewatch every Christmas. Ho ho ho! But if you can have that cultural hook, like, geez, where was he going with this? Uh, like Mariah Carey has made more money from that one song than from any other, but also
What's your guess? What's your guess of how much she's made? Do you have a wild guess?
I
I
don't.
mean,
Hundreds of millions.
hundreds of millions? I say 7 million.
Okay. I will look that up as the next time you start to talk about a funny fishing trip or whatever. I will look that up. But uh but but
Well,
but I
have to
also want to
remember
say
that.
I also want to say that this being the first Christmas where my child is coming back to me for Christmas,
Right.
like, I fucking get the all I want for Christmas is you bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, that's so real. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's something. That's something. Yeah, the that movie, which we watch all the time, is all about the drummer.
yes, the little boy, yeah.
You know, and I fast forwarded and looked at him today, and what he'd been up to
Oh
and whatnot.
God,
And
he must be 46.
yeah,
Like me.
yeah. Well, so one of our Christmas favorites, I think I mentioned this last time, is uh, what's it called? Family Stone, and it's about a family by the name of Stone. It stars Diane Keaton and oh, what the fuck is the dude's name? It was in Poltergeist too. Um, Great actor, but anyway, in the movie she passes. It's her last Christmas. Is the story part of the storyline, and it's hilarious. It's just hilarious. And so this year, since she had passed and we watched it, was particularly tender, and very. For speaking of which, last night I watched Spinal Tap.
Okay. Yes.
And
so
I recorded Spinal Tap 2.
Upon its release, Carey earned 60 million in royalties.
60 million?
60 million.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's like from the year it was released or since, but yes, let's get sad and talk about Spinal Tap.
Yeah, so with Rob Reiner's tragic murder, it was airing on HBO, and I happened to sit down on the couch, had been wanting to see it again.
Yeah.
And there it was. And I sat down and it was time for it to start. And it's hilarious. And you can't help but laugh throughout. But then when the next show was Spinal Tap 2, when he came out.
I heard that they were making a new movie. Is that out?
Well, it's been out, yes. In fact, The premiere was some time ago, but there's a third movie in the making, which was a post show concert that was like an add-on to the movie that finished. He finished it, but they've delayed the release of it for obvious reasons. But when he loomed large on the camera and started the second one in the same location, standing in the same kind of place, if I'm right about this, and did the same kind of opening shtick and introduced himself as the documentarian, whatever his name was, that they flash on the bottom of the screen, of course. And I just was so sad, I just said, no, I can't see you as I remember you here just recently watching you on a newscast, which is the only time I've seen him in a long time. And he was just so clear, so good. And plus I was in agreement with him. And the fact that, for the first time in the history of the United States president is known to be such a vulgar person, such an uncaring, narcissistic person by everyone, friend and foe alike, including, by the way, Susie Wiles, according to a recent Vanity Fair article, that she says it was a hatchet job. It's like, is there anything that you were quoted that you didn't say? Out of context, what did you say it or didn't you say it? It's in quotes.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But it's haters involved. He was at the party. He kind of had words with Nick about this is a private conversation, and people reported that Nick kind of stormed off and was huffed, and there's only God knows all the. But so it's horrific. It's hard to imagine. And then to rant, of course, is that Trump is so vile that, and even a lot of the people that are saying so would never have said anything like this before. They don't care anymore. He's crossed the line, and his popularity show. He's having a national televised event. Not tonight, I don't think, but tomorrow night. It feels like every night to me. the first of this term, a White House event where he speaks to the American people. He hasn't done it since he was president. And one of the reasons that he doesn't, they won't let him, is because he, like he did at the fucking rally that he held in Pennsylvania, he said, if I read this teleprompter, you'd be asleep in 2 hours. And then did his revenge tour. But if he's in the Oval Office for what do they call it? A press conference? A public presser? I'm not sure what it's
if
actually.
you're in the office, I don't know.
And so it's going to be hilarious from the aspect of every part of what he does is going to look to many people so foolish. And the things he's going to say are going to be so foolish that you almost like rub your hands in anticipation thinking, oh boy, this is going to just hurt him more. He's his own worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy.
He can't work. He can't hurt himself anymore. Like, there's nothing he can do. Like, his whole, like, I could shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue. Like,
well, that's what Susie Wiles said. Susie Wiles gets interviewed by Vanity Fair, and she says, and I quote, he thinks he can do anything he wants all the time.
And he's not wrong.
And so far, he's not. Bombing these ships out of the water?
He could go for a public White House press thing and take a fucking puppy and slit its throat, and the people would be like, oh, well, that's just to teach us about whatever. Like what the fuck else? Wait. Like, I'm trying to imagine the worst fucking thing.
What dark place in your cranium did you find that? Number one. And number two, when you take that image to its full health and Trump, they're actually dripping in blood and blood all over his face from slicing the puppy's throat. I think maybe that would have an impact. I think
he could totally do that.
I think maybe he's gone one step too far.
No. His supporters
there would be a change.
His supporters would be like, well, I think he's explaining, how, Christine,
how blood works. He knows more about blood than anybody.
Right. Like, this is just a demonstration of what we're going to do to our enemies. Blah 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 blah. But like, what could turn his allies against him? What?
The same thing that already has turned his allies against him, and it's
no.
Louisianan who said the only thing that'll ever hurt you is getting caught in bed with a dead girl or a live boy, and that's what is going to happen in our lifetime against Trump. One of the two things is true, and it's probably not a dead girl, but one who's 14, and Putin has the pictures.
No,
that's all I can tell you.
But no, that will not do it. I reject. I object, Your Honor. Like that. No, we already know that he has fucked a 14-year-old. We know that.
So what the thing about Trump in my history is that I've learned to fear him. And that comes from, as you know, a completely naive viewpoint about whether the country would support him well enough to be president, not just once, just twice. Would you? You were not of that opinion. I was blindsided, and I'll never be blindsided again. That's why, as it would appear, that there are cracks in the foundation. Marjorie Taylor Greene quitting Congress and actually awakening a true MAGA, because she says you can't lie to the American people about their pocketbook. They know. It's ridiculous to say things like that. People are having some pain, and if we would stop spending so much money overseas, which you said you wouldn't do, and you're doing it, you ran on fixing our problems first. She's not an isolationist as much as she's an America firstist, and it's hard to disagree with some of that. But
yes,
the fact that people like her are leaving is big. It's big, big, big.
But she was so ignorant to understand, to think that he was being truthful. Like what? Like she believed him?
Yeah.
Because the rest of us didn't. Because we could see a con man
loyalist. I mean, if a person is committed to their beliefs as much as I am, then in this country I'm obliged, and I find it difficult to do so, but I am obliged to let them have their opinion and see how it all plays out. And I've seen hours of Marjorie Taylor Greene in the past couple of months, and she is becoming a centrist in speech, and she is, by the way, the biggest single fundraiser in the Trump era. The biggest fundraiser, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She takes that with her, of course.
Biggest fundraiser for what?
For her congressional seat, for her campaign chest.
For her.
And others, because when you can raise money for your campaign, and then on your decision, you can use some of that money to help fund another campaign. That's all within the realm of legality, if not reason. So, and I'm not overplaying this. I'm not saying that, I mean, there are just cracks in the foundation. And the thing that's going to hit home like a fucking hammer, and you're hearing now the pundits saying things that it's odd to hear it, but doom is coming in these midterms. They usually are doomed for the party in power, but there's never been numbers this bad. They're going to get trounced. So now Republican pundits are saying, well, we know it's going to be a disaster. We know it's going to be a disaster. And as if, admitting the truth of it somehow is going to make it any better. It's not. But they're admitting it, they're saying it, and there isn't a poll of information anywhere that you can look at that doesn't point in that direction. And so I'm cheering it. And his speech to the American people, do you think he'll be able to talk to the American people without lying? And it'll be fact-checked in the 15 minutes afterwards for the minority of people in this country who care?
But what the fuck are facts? Like, feelings over facts, right? Like, that's how he's there. And like,
yes, it's loyalty of the heart.
If he wants to tell you that gosh, prices are down, and you're like, well, actually, I haven't been giving my children eggs this week because I can't. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, so on the weather front, to talk about a viable topic here,
please,
we have had, as you know, well over 18 inches of snow. We drove north 1.5 hours northwest to a little town on Lake Michigan, of where we stayed at our little hotel where we're in walking distance and pubs
Yep.
and food, and it was all snowy. We had like 8 inches of snow. We drove up
Damn.
in the snow. There was 8 inches of snow, and we were in parking lot, or in the hotel, and it had warmed sidewalks, so they were completely clear of snow, which is always cool.
Nice.
And just went and drank beer and had fun. Muskegon is the name of it, but
Yes.
it's gorgeous. And it's odd though, because they seem to have raised warehouse after warehouse, demolished this or demolished that, all along the lake shore, which is both a lake and then another lake, and it's all connected to the Muskegon River, which is one of the biggest rivers. You've heard me talk about the Muskegon River in my fishing stories.
Yep.
Wading and big rocks and falling in and 6 inches of water as I was getting out. That's the story. But and I went out one morning. It was like 12 degrees, 6 with wind chill, and the sun came out. And it reflected on this beautiful modern sculpture that is 45 feet high,
Yeah.
and is in the middle of the roundabout, which is the downtown roundabout, et cetera, et cetera. Now, we took a high room as I've requested with a view of the water, which we got high up, 7th floor. And the thing that's striking, as I said, is there's all these empty spaces where they're going to do something, I guess, eventually, but they raised it maybe for good reason, maybe, I don't know the history. So when you look out your window, you'll see these buildings along the shore, even like a gravel pit kind of thing. But then there's just big spaces. So in the middle of one of these spaces, looks like a brand new hotel that's going up with a beautiful view of the lake, and it's going to be inside work for the next 4 months. And next to that is another building that maybe the same company built first, and it's a 3-story building right on the shore, that when you go in the elevator and you go to the 2nd floor, the whole floor is a brewery, and it has open windows all around it, garage doors that open onto a deck that would hold 80, 90 people seated. And we had, once again, for our second meal there, maybe our third meal there, was exquisite. I had, what do they call pork? Pork loin smashed up, breaded and fried with a sauce, with a Mornay sauce on it. Schnitzel, pork schnitzel.
Schnitzel.
And it was the best. It was perfectly done. And beans, green snap beans, cooked, little butter, and some chopped white onions. Oh my God. And homemade mashed potatoes, and the sauce was just rich and wonderful. We each had drinks. I've been on this kick with Moscow mules. Did I tell you the story? I think I did. Of going to a bar.
Story.
I don't know. You tell me. I bought
no
best place I've ever seen. They were $12. $12. I had 2. I told you the story. And then I went to another bar and they were $5. And I'm like, which bar do I want to go to? What?
Nice.
The $5 ones weren't actually as good as the other, but who cares at that point?
So my past weekend, we went to a dinner for the group that does our dance classes. Like we go to dance classes every Tuesday,
You're
and
all sorts of dance or Latin?
it's Latin ballroom. It's salsa, bachata stuff. Uh, and so we went to so the company that gives our classes has this end of the year thing, and uh, they do it at this place that's like a 20-minute drive away, and we went back and forth on like it's a 20-minute drive away, but also it's at a hotel.
So
And so there was this
how
idea
nice to
of
stay there.
maybe we would go and stay there or whatever.
Yeah,
But
it'd be more fun, wouldn't it?
yes, but leading up to the day, uh, my foot was hurting me in a way that I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to actually dance and participate and have fun. Uh, and so we ended up canceling the hotel. But the actual event was it was lovely. Like we went and uh it it was very like I'm sure I have
Good
this
people.
exact same commentary from last year where it took like until midnight before we were actually being served
Oh
our
yeah, yeah,
meals.
yeah.
And
Right,
then
right,
it was
right.
like 2 a.m. by the time we were done. And then it was like, okay, let's dance a little bit. But then the dance was all like where everyone was doing the same shit that we do in class, where like there's a teacher saying, okay, now we do right, and now we do left, and now we do right, and now we do left.
And they had the teacher there for this?
Well, it's
It,
run by the organization
I know,
that
but you're telling me that instead of the dancers just doing it, they had an instructor talking to them during the performance?
the the whole thing was run by the instructor's company.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know that, but that doesn't
but
answer my
but but
question.
but yes. So there were a few times where we could just like dance on our own, and that was lovely. But overall, it was like meh. Uh,
Well, why I just so riddle me this is the reason that you have that opinion for the reason that I'm drawing out here, which is that you should have been able to dance to that music for that evening without any instructors and just gone out there and danced. That would have
yes,
been fun, right?
yes, you're
And
correct.
why do they not know that? You're not
Because
the
they
only one
have
with that
this
opinion.
idea that we are that
Not
we
able to
are that
dance.
we are border collies that need instruction about what to do
Uh,
on every step or something.
to
I
be
don't know.
true, even border collies romping in
Yeah.
the garden is fun to watch.
So I
They're
don't know.
fucking assholes. I'm pissed off at them.
But
Fuck them. You should write a sternly worded letter, man. You shouldn't let this stand, dude.
yes, and for
Huh?
sure, for sure I will.
Let me
But
draft it for you. Let me draft it for you. Just send me let me use give me your
yes,
account info and I will just
yes.
send it from you.
Okay,
Trust
okay,
me,
okay,
bro.
good.
I'll
But
send it. It's
but
that bad.
we ended up returning home at like 4:30 a.m. And then
20-minute drive home.
it was a 20-minute drive home, right? And my
Yeah.
wife did it because it's like on her normal path to work and back. So like for her it's like you can drive that in your sleep. But
Which she
but
did. Oh no.
but but wait.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. Uh, and so we got back at 4:30, and then at 10 a.m. I had to get up to go to church.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry for that. That
May
came
the
out of nowhere.
power of Christ compel you. Yes. So then the morning after, with very little sleep, we went to Catholic Mass, which is not a thing that we normally
Interesting.
do.
Well, and I'm quite familiar with it, having been, as you well know, an altar boy for many
But
days, and then
it was,
a script reader.
yes. So uh, it was a mass where the priest had to halfway through it read the name of the mother of a friend of ours who had just died. So like it was like, oh,
Yeah. What they have
mass,
to pay for that? Do you
yeah,
know?
mass, and here we are praying for uh Lucia,
Right. Now, you know there's a fee
whatever.
associated with that, right?
Yeah. So so
150 bucks probably.
we did that to as a uh, hug of friendship to our friends.
How nice.
But it was like in general, there's a lot of BS that goes on during mass, but there was this particular priest. Apparently, uh, he was a philosophy professor until he was 40, and then he switched over to being a priest. And so he like had this take on like, yeah, like we're like soon we're going to be celebrating the birth of Jesus and blah blah blah. But like he gave a really nice talk about like ideally in my mind going to church every Sunday would be a group therapy session where they talk about forgiving your grudges and letting go of that and forgiving yourself and like he gave a really lovely sermon like
Ah, nice.
and
Well,
and
that's
so like
because there's
I
it's
as an
tedious stuff.
unbeliever like
Non-believer.
like I appreciate it. Like I understand enough about psychology uh and about uh that to understand that like what he said was very useful for everyone.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. You
it was
know
interesting
that.
to go to Catholic Mass and be like, actually, this guy's not that wild. Like that, I like this.
So reminds me of a minister, a pastor at the Unitarian Church, where when Nikki and I, in our family journey, which was very blessed for the most part, and then not so much for a while, the minister was a former um, armed forces journalist and had a bachelor's. I don't know that he was married before, but he was a man's man, and now he was a minister. But he was so very kind, but very thoughtful, and and I loved talking to him. He was very blue collar to talk to, very approachable,
Right.
and I enjoyed conversation with him. But the interesting thing was going in to the church. In order to join the church, we had to meet with the elders, and the elders would talk to us about what we thought about things, what we believe, what we didn't believe, and they'd ask a few questions. And then the pastor said to me, "Do you have any questions for us?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "In your doctrine,
In your
if
doctrine, that's
if
a great
if
start.
if a Muslim dies um, in what he believes to be the grace of his God, does he get to heaven because that is their doctrine. Unitarians or the Presbyterians, actually, not Unitarians.
Yeah.
This was Presbyterians. I had that wrong. The Presbyterian Church. So, and I knew the dogma. I read it. It says that. You know what he said? He said, to tell you the truth, I don't know. And the other thing is that I don't really care. What I care about is you.
Yeah, that's always like.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
I joined. I accepted that and joined.
Yes. But it's like.
We got married in that church.
How can you
second
preach,
marriage?
How can you preach to me about this doctrine, and then when I bring it up to you, you just like ignore it and be like, "Oh man."
Well, what he said, he answered the question. You know what he said? He said, "I don't know." He didn't say, "That's what I believe." He said, "Oh, I know it's to be true. That's the doctrine that I have in my heart." He said to me, "I don't know." And
yes, but
that's he he did not avoid the question. He answered it.
He will have preached a doctrine as if he knew. I don't know. Maybe not.
He said he could have said, "I signed out to that part of the doctrine as a matter of faith, believing that other people in this organization interpreting things the way that they should, that I would follow their lead." Who knows? But the way that, and this is a big expensive church. I joined the choir, and I can't read music, so couldn't then, and certainly can't now. And so I was a tenor, and still am, and they put me next to the best tenor, and I could follow the music sheets as long as the melody, and the words are written in the sheets, so it's not like you're going blind. You're sitting in a pew, you've got the shit in front of you. But he looked at me once and he said, "Sometimes I feel like you're my exact echo," because I may have been one step behind him.
Another thing I experienced in the Catholic Mass was there were times when people were just like, and they were just repeating these lines, but like never in sync really, but also like it felt like what would it feel like to be in a cult where people were repeating the doctrine back?
For people there are many people that would define the Catholic Church exactly that way.
But like if this were a crazy cult and we were all reciting back, Mary had a little lamb, her sheep was white as snow. No. Like if like that's it felt very much like.
Well, imagine this. Now, so when I grew up in the Catholic Church, it was all in Latin. So everything I knew,
so it's even more mystical.
I knew the entire Mass in Latin, and I also knew what it meant, because that's one of the things that I had to know, as I was not only a student of catechism, the Catholic catechism, but also in my aspiring teenage years became a teacher of the catechism at a public school. And I think I got let go because I said something to the students. I said, and let's not worry that when we talk about religion, that this is a place of sin. If you want to swear because you want to talk about stuff and you want to say shit or damn, go ahead. And it got back to administration like, actually in a catechism, that's actually not okay. That's thanks for your volunteering. I think that's the case. I don't know. Maybe I did it like a one-off. I can't recall. Who the fuck knows? Oh man.
Indeed.
So my job after the broadcast here is well, it's not actually the broadcast, it's the recording.
Yes, indeed. It is.
After the recording session.
Yes. This will be highly edited to take out the part where my wife came in and was like, "What are you doing?" But whatever.
That's what she asked you. What are you doing?
More or less.
More or less.
Yes.
So I've been following all your pictures and stuff. I've sent you a bunch of likes. You seem to be enjoying yourself. I keep getting this alert that you posted a picture, and it's the same two pictures, which I like a lot, but only probably the first couple times I saw it. Now which are the dripping icicles.
Those were the I was waiting outside of my physiotherapist to go in to have my session, and the tree out there was like doing some crazy shit with the sap, and so I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of this. So
the sap. For some reason I thought it was melting ice.
It's all sap.
But that would make no sense.
Sappy sap.
You know why I thought that? Because I am in fact a
sappy.
Sap. Now, okay, give me your guess. What year was the term sap first used? Take a guess.
What?
What year was the term sap first used? I know, for example, by way of example, that the first year that the word hippie was used was the year I was born, 1953. I know that. These are known things. So sap, I've got a guess in my head. You tell me.
Sap is 1,112.
What year was it first used?
That's what it said. 1,112. 1,2.
1100, the year 1100?
Yes.
I say 1928.
Let's see. Dictionary.
So anyway, I'm going to go around and put up some Mojo Riot posters tonight. Playing Saturday with not a rehearsal before for the first time in a long time. Stage my rehearsal tonight, probably. Or no, tomorrow. I didn't mean for you to have to do this. Now we got all this additional editing you're going to have to do.
I don't really care. Let's just like say good evening to each other. Like sap. I will look for the knuckleheads that look at the show notes. I will find the sap answer, but for the rest of you, sap off.
Well, they call me the backdoor Santa. I make my run about the break of day. Yeah, they call me the backdoor Santa. I make my run at the break of day. I make all the women's happy while their men's are out to play. I ain't like old Saint Nick. He only comes but once a year. I ain't like old Saint Nick. He only comes but once a year. But I'll give you all my presents, and all you gotta do is call me dear. Well, I take some pennies and give 'em to kids at home, so we can be alone. And if there's a mouse, or Santa's in trouble, because there ain't a chimney in the house, oh yeah, I'm back to Santa, and I'll run at the break of day. I make all the women's happy while the men's are out to play. 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 While the men's are out to play.
There we go. That's episode 269. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/269. I have actually included a link to the book that Dennis referred to. And also, I was right about the usage of sap. You can support the show at patreon.com/happyhour. See you maybe next week.